Hey, how's it going, people? It's Intangier. I'm doing another video today talking about some building projects, just screwing around on single player. And so last video I was talking about trying to figure out how to place a UFO over the volcano. And I got one up there, and I was super excited because it seemed like I had all the same settings as official, but I forgot one was on. I didn't expect. And it affects a lot more than it says. It says it has to do with collision on other structures, but it also affects build height, which I didn't realize it was even affecting. So this is not actually buildable on official as is, which is a bummer. I built it and I was super excited because it seemed like it was going to be possible, but it's too high. It's over 60 structures up. And the other problem is that apparently with the settings that I'm using on single player anyway that are supposed to be the same as official, it doesn't let me build over this no build zone. There's a no build zone over the volcano, but it stops like around here somewhere, and it doesn't let me build even over it for some reason. And I did some testing with some electrical cables, and I built them all over the place around here. And then I turned off the setting to see where I could build, and it didn't let me build anywhere. It didn't let me build anywhere up here at all, even over the areas that are less than 60 high and above the bounding box, like on these rim areas. Didn't let me build. Oh, also apparently you can't build within close to the roof now. Apparently that's a newer setting. Within about, I don't know, 10, 20 ceilings away from the ceiling of the map, you can't build anymore. Because apparently people used to be able to build foundations on it and count their structures as supported if their foundation was touching this, which sounds pretty cool. But I never noticed that until they've already patched it, so I didn't get to do it. But so this one's not legit. But this one over here is actually legit buildable on official. As far as I know, I haven't actually tested it yet, but I've done one similar to this in the past. So this one should work. It's less than 60 structures above the ground, and it's right on the edge of the no build zone. You basically can see where the no build zone is. It's from here to hold on, to over there. These pillars are all along the line of it. So it's a big straight wall here that you can't build past. So I lined up and I managed to find the perfect square angle to this area where I wanted to place my bridge right there. And I got the square angle, and I placed this pillar. And I backed it off half ceiling away so that I could get right up next to it and still build my walls on the edge of it. And built my becoming my standard UFO build here. And I tried like 6 different configurations of using this tech bridge inside of it, and it caused so many issues. The tech bridge, its bounding area is really big, and it's super picky about collision, and it just caused me a lot of problems. I couldn't get it to work inside. Well, I did actually get it to be built inside. The problem was that as soon as I deactivated it, it said that it was blocked and wouldn't let me reactivate it. Which, if I accidentally just pressed it at any time, it would be deactivated and I'd never be able to turn it back on. So that's not a good design. This one has this awkwardly floating box out here that doesn't even have a bottom on it. So it looks kind of ugly, and I wanted to try and hide it inside and kind of hide it away so it didn't detract from the aesthetic of the build, but there was just no practical way of doing that where I would be able to turn it off and on. And I really do want to be able to turn this off and on. And sooner or later you're going to accidentally turn it off, just walking around your base if you click the wrong thing. And I didn't want to never be able to turn it back on again. So I moved it to the outside where it can be clear and have a clear line of sight over to the other side. So yeah, this is well inside the no build zone, but as I already showed in another video, as long as you build the other end of it outside, you can reach into the no build zone and it lets you get away with it. So that's how I did it. And it looks pretty cool. That's a long stretch. That's pretty much as long as it reaches. That's as far as it could go, and that is a hell of a span. all the way out to this flying UFO. This isn't as tall as it could go either. I could have made it even higher, but then I wouldn't have been able to reach where I wanted it to connect. I had to keep it low enough that it would actually make the reach. But yeah, I think I could build around, I think I was able to reach about this high, like right at level of the top of the rim. So it's not the top height, but it's pretty close. And the ground down here is flat enough. It's not, it's not flat, but I tried to build on this area over here before, and it was very steep. And, you got to be well under the build height, or else the back side of it won't be buildable. But anyway, yeah, this is about the perfect distance, and to be able to reach, to be able to get as high as possible, be able to complete the whole build. It all should be legit buildable. It's using one glitch to keep it airborne. I actually discovered a new glitch. This is buildable with the tech bridge method alone, which I don't think counts as a glitch. I mean, I think it's intended, so I've gone ahead and featured it on the channel already a few times now. Actually, I think it's legit, but it will only let you support a small area around it, and not this whole build. So I had to use a different glitch to support the whole build. And while I was experimenting around with all these different methods, I found another really effective glitch that will let me support an entire structure without it being in like a no build state. This glitch that I'm using here, once I've finished it, I can never add on to it again. And if I accidentally like break a window or somebody, something like that, the whole thing will collapse, which is kind of precarious and not ideal. So I found another method I can use which actually lets me support it indefinitely. It counts as supported the whole time. It's very simple. It's extremely expandable. It's basically the holy grail of air builds. It's kind of similar to some of the ones that have already been patched. I don't want to give too many clues because they'll probably patch it too if I said anything. Or maybe they won't. I don't know for sure if they even care anymore. Maybe they're busy with their other projects. But I don't want to get anything patched that I actually want to use, and so I'm not gonna say how I did it. I'm not sure anybody else knows, because it's bizarre, it's obscure, and I don't know. If somebody else had figured it out, they probably would have shared it by now, because somebody always shares the no build glitches. I mean, the no support glitches. And then they get patched. So like I've seen like 7 of them get patched at this point, and every one of them was handy. Some of them are really handy. There's the one that Captain Fat Dog had on his channel at one point, and of course they patched it. But that was a damn handy glitch, and I don't know. I really like these physics-defying builds, and the glitches for leaving things in the air are the coolest ones in my opinion, for just really neat builds that are surprising. And so yeah, I really don't want them to fix it, but I tell you, I'm definitely going to be using it in some of my new builds, and you'll get a chance to see what it can do. It's really neat, and yeah. Hopefully it'll still work on an Arc Ascended version too. I don't know how much of the code they're rewriting, or how much they're just copying over, or how much has to be rewritten. There's a lot of unanswered questions about that Arc Ascended version. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm assuming they're going to just copy a lot of code over, because otherwise there's no way they could implement the whole thing in time. I mean, if they have to write the whole game over from scratch, they're definitely not going to be done by August, and they never would even dare claim they would be. But if they're just redoing some assets and they're keeping a lot of the code the same and they're just rebuilding in a new engine, maybe they could do it. So I'm assuming that most of the same glitches will work. I've heard there's going to be a whole lot new snap points though. So if there's going to be a whole lot of new snap points, or if they're going to clean up some of the existing snap points, that could change a lot of what we can build, because there's already lots of bizarre little snap point quirks in the game right now that are great. Actually, they're really helpful for making really interesting builds. Like I just found out about this one the other day, where you can and I've been building for a long time. And I know about a lot of different methods for getting certain things done, and I've even posted videos about some of my methods. But I found out about a new one just the other day that is really convenient. And it's a quirk. It's a weird quirk. Doesn't make sense. But look, if you place one of these double door frames, it adds another snap point that's a little lower. Look at that. I just lowered that down. I had another method for lowering these walls, these ceilings, I mean, and it was a lot more elaborate and it took a lot more trouble. But this is crazy simple. Look how easy that is. And that's one of these little quirks I'm talking about with the build system. It's got a ton of quirks like this. Weird snap points that don't really make great sense. They don't always line up. Sometimes it makes really ugly builds. But, like a person who, like a hardcore builder, we can use all these wacky wacky quirks to come up with really creative builds and offset things and, have a lot of control over how we can build. And if they go screwing around with all these snap points, I'm a little worried. Anyway, I've gotten way off topic. I was just going to show off this foundation, this build, this UFO build, but yeah, I've gotten into Arc Ascended version. Yeah, there's really no telling what to expect, but I hope we'll still be able to do really crazy, creative, glitched builds like this, because that is scenic, man. Look at that. That looks cool. I'm going to take a screenshot. And anyway, that's the video for today. Hope this has been, giving you some cool ideas for builds and kind of showing you what's possible. Maybe you've even figured out how I've done it. Actually, I've already given a whole lot of information about how to do most of it. So, I mean, it won't be quite as clean with the methods I've already shown on the channel, but I mean, I did show how to do the TechBridge support, so you can get some pretty cool builds. I mean, instead of having a round build, I could have done more of these tech bridges spanning over there, just turned those off and made a big flat platform and had a floating platform out here real easy with methods that are, I don't even think, technically glitches. But, yeah, this one's doing something else because it's so round. These are technically not even connected, but they look like they're connected. They're super close, but these are the wrong angle to be snapped together, so they're actually not connected. Anyway, it's a really cool build, though. I like it. I've been building it over and over. I've gotten kind of quick at it, and I do want to try and build this on the beginning of Arc Ascended version. I won't build it out of tech, though, because I won't have all that tech, but I could build it out of metal and just have a big metal UFO flying in the sky. That would be cool. I mean, look how scenic it is, You're walking around, you're flying around, you see this thing in the sky, you're going to be like, whoa, what the hell? That's kind of the effect I want to get from people. Whenever I press screenshot, I got to press Alt and it toggles over to my other view. That's why it's doing that. Anyway, it's looking real scenic over here on Island right now. And this is the non-Ascended version, so I sure hope the Ascended version looks even more amazing. But yeah, Island has some of the most diverse weather patterns and lighting and fog patterns compared to any of the other maps. It gets darker, it gets foggier, it gets really crazy looking, like rainy season looking weather sometimes. It's a really gorgeous looking map sometimes, and still it's the first one. But yeah, a lot of the newer maps, they just don't have quite as diverse of crazy weather. So yeah, this one has a certain beauty to it that some of the other ones can't really match. I mean, they have their own kind of beauty, but some of them are just far less diverse. Like the center doesn't have much weather diversity at all, really. And it's always lit, even at night, with all those little green firefly effects. But yeah, the island, it gets dark. Fjordur gets dark. Anyway, I'm going way off topic again, so I'm just going to stop talking about the game and call it a day. I hope you had a good one. See you next time.